Hey, welcome everyone. This is Mike from zozostockwatch.com, and this is going to be your stock watch list for Monday, August 26th. We'll go ahead and get into the SPY a little bit, and then we'll look at some news that came out over the weekend, and then we'll get into that watch list. And I do have some requests to look at some stocks, so I'll do that also. Mostly some of the bigger names for the requests. So let's go ahead and just look at the SPY. I did a previous video. Let's get ready for the week ahead. Sorry, the mic was a little bit off on that one, but if you can bear it, I went through the SPY, the IWM, and a bunch of other sectors and markets. So check out the Let's Get Ready for the Week Ahead video. It'll be attached at the end of this video. But just to take a quick look at the SPY here if you missed that video. So right now, we're playing up against the 282 area. If that breaks, we could get further downside move through the 200 and 280 here on the SPY. As you see, on Friday, a lot of tweets were coming out, a lot of global political anxiety out there. So we'll see how it all plays out. We couldn't get back above the 50 SMA here on the SPY, so we've stayed in this range. Now, are we going to break the range to the downside? Well, your guess is as good as mine. We'll have to play it and see what react to it as it happens. I would say right now, swing trading is definitely dangerous. Intraday trading has been very good, so we'll just stick with that. Let's go ahead and look at the intraday chart of the SPY here. We came up to this 293 area. We popped up, and then we were selling off for the rest of the day into the close, even drifting in the after hours here on the SPY. Let's go ahead and look at some of the news that came out Friday after the bell. So after the bell on Friday, not too much news. We got a little more Fed speak. Says, don't believe what we're seeing, elevated recession risk. So they don't see that as far as the Fed. Business contacts say trade uncertainty is affecting business investment. DXCM, court rules that patents asserted against Dexcom system are invalid. So that was some of the news that came out Friday. BMCH filed Form S3, mixed shelf on BMCH. Qualcomm, interim chief financial officer David Wise to retire. Cronus Group enters into credit agreement with Cronus Growing Company Incorporated. NSPR filed for S1, 6.25 million, offering this news courtesy of the trade exchange. This is some of your news that came out after the bell on Friday. We did get some more tweets by President Trump Friday after the bell. So if you want to pause the video, you can kind of run through those. I'm not going to read them all on the video right now, but additionally, the remaining $300 billion of goods and products from China that was being taxed from September 1st at 10% will now be taxed at 15%. Thank you for your attention in this matter. Trump says he wouldn't stop Fed Chair Powell if he offered to resign. So some more tweets about Trump going after Jerome Powell. Top insider purchases that came out after the bell Friday. You can pause the video and or take a snapshot, and you can see those insider purchases. Once again, this information is courtesy of the trade exchange. What else did we get? Over the weekend, we got some news that the White House says Trump regrets not raising tariffs on China higher. Trump not happy with North Korea tests, but they are not violating any agreement. Hong Kong protesters are throwing Molotov cocktails, so things are escalating, I guess, in Hong Kong. And Tesla scouting sites for a possible factory in Germany. Germany. That coming from Reuters. Also, we got Larry Kudlow speaking over the weekend, and we got some news here. Two top White House officials said President Trump has the authority to force American companies to leave China, as he claims, but whether he invokes the power is another question. Also, over the on Sunday, this came out. U.S. Japan announced preliminary trade deal worth billions. So that coming out from the New York Post. That came out around 10:31 a.m. Eastern Time. This article courtesy of the New York Post. So I don't know if the futures are going to move up on that article or not, or that trade agreement with Japan, but that's some news that hit over the weekend. On Saturday and Sunday and Friday after the bell. Once again, courtesy of the trade exchange. So we'll go ahead and get into some of the stocks I'm going to be watching. And all this is kind of mute if the market is selling off real hard. A gap up down Monday, then we'll kind of see what news items we get. We'll be looking for bounce backs. But as it stands, as the market closed on Friday, some names I'll be watching. APHA actually closed green on Friday with the market moving down. Actually, one of the stronger in the cannabis space right now. So I'm going to keep it on watch for the next few days and for this week ahead, but this is one I'll be watching for the watch list on Monday. CETX was popping up. Friday it pulled back, but we're still holding above the momentum moving averages. We've popped up on big volume. We're pulling back on lighter volume here. So keep this CETX. It's flagging here on the name on ENDP, another name that's flagging under the 50 SMA. Probably needs to get up over the highs from Friday, 302, 305 area. 6.8 million shares came into this on Friday. You see this nice flag and holding above these momentum moving averages, the 5, the 20, the 10. So we'll keep that one on watch. FFHL, big pop on 23 over 24 million shares, about 24 million shares, I should say. Big move up here, up to 650. Obviously would like a pullback in this name, maybe some type of red to green. Keep it on your watch. FFHL, big move up there. FOMX holding up very well Friday. Nice push up here, breaking out over the 200 SMA. Has that 350 number up ahead. The high on this was 342, so if it can get up over 350, could be interesting on that one. Home, there's takeover chatter around this name. Now it's a beaten down name, but it was popping a few days last week, a slight pullback. Keep your eye on this one. All right, HOME, maybe you get a pullback entry on this name. Might actually be not a bad entry for a swing trade. The risk is pretty small here if you want to try it. Once again, these videos are for educational purposes only, but there is chatter around HOME. KL, a gold stock. There's quite a few gold stocks that look pretty good. AUY, HMY, yep. Big move up in a lot of these gold stocks, but KL, is coming up over the 10 SMA here. The highs on Friday, 47.47, so maybe over that 47.55 for a possible swing trade entry. Now it's had a beautiful run here on KL, trending up stock, riding the 50 SMA on KL. It's a Canadian company. Keep an eye on that one. MGI, we talked about it on last week's video. Finally broke up over that 350 area, popped up. Now you can see $4 is in the way on MGI. If it can clear $4 maybe in the next few days or the next weeks, keep MGI. Looks pretty good. 2.2 million shares on this name on Friday. NCMI, 1 million shares came into this one. We have the 750 area up ahead on NCMI. The high was 750. So watch that 750 750 break, 755 area on NCMI. NETE very strong on Thursday, Friday, and inside day here, back below $5. If they can recapture $5 on NETE, now we'd all like to get things cheaper. So if they hold it above $4, that might be a decent entry on NETE. If you're looking for momentum and a quick pop, if they can get it back over $5, that's a name that looks interesting. OPTT. 9 million shares came into OPTT on Friday. Big move up here, nice move up. Percentage-wise for the week, it was up almost 40%. On Friday, it was up 20%. OPTT looks like they popped it up into the after hours, and then it kind of drifted down here in the after hours on Friday. But we'll keep it on watch, see what it wants to do. OPTT battling that $2 area maybe. So looks interesting. Overstock. The CEO left here. It had popped up, pulled back on Friday. It's holding above $19 here, back below 20. Maybe if you can get back above 20.50 or so on Overstock, since they're going to be getting or have a new CEO, and the old CEO was a strange guy, right? He was on CNN. He did an interview, and so maybe Overstock. Keep it on watch. PSTV. This one is flagging here. Recent did a 1 for 50 reverse splitter on August 6th, holding above the momentum moving averages here. Don't know if it's going to do anything Monday on PSTV, but holding up. It had made a big pop up to $16. Now pulling back. So not in love with this chart, but we'll see. Keep it on watch. RKDA has given us really nice intraday trades. I want this one to get above 7 and hold above $7. You see it keeps having these wicks up here. This one was about $7.20. So maybe 7.25, 7.30 area on this RKDA. Now, if you get a pullback, get it for cheaper prices. Could be interesting here. 6.25 has been a support area. Also 5.75, depending on the market we're going in. Now, the market has been pulling back, so you might want to keep an eye on some of these inverses as the market moves down. The inverses move up. You have SDS. TVIX is a volatility play, but keep an eye on this next week on TVIX and Monday. If the market is moving down, TVIX will be moving up. The TZA on the daily chart, you see 4 million shares coming to the TZA. The high on Friday for TZA was 54.94, so we'll call it $55. As the IWM moves down, TZA moves up, and the IWM is threatening to break that 145 area on the IWM. So if that happens, you could see a nice move up in TZA intraday. So keep that on watch. If you like SPXU, there's a million of these inverse ETFs. Once again, as the SPY moves down, the SPXU will move up. So keep an eye on those, TVIX, and etc. TTOO actually held up pretty well on Friday. 1.3 million shares. Has the 50 SMA. Hasn't been above the 50 SMA in a while. The 50 SMA currently is at 136. So it probably needs to clear that to really get going. TVIX we talked about. TZA I mentioned. VVUS was getting some movement up, but the volume was very light on this. 195,000 shares or so. Probably needs to clear this high here of 440, and so VVUS was moving up a little bit on very light volume though, but did have a bigger volume day a few days back. WKHS, this thing has popped up to 550, then it came down, it held the 50 SMA. Now we're flagging here under these recent highs, 435, then we have 427. So maybe if they can get it back over the Friday highs, we'll call it 4.25. If they can get it up over 4.25 on WKHS, might be interesting. WRX popped up. here. It's been flagging, holding above those momentum moving averages again. Volume was a little bit light though on Friday, only 152,000 shares, and I'm rounding up there. But if they ever get this one up over 4 and the 50 SMA, could be interesting. And then lastly, ZAGG, right? There was takeover chatter around this name. Not sure, it's a rumor right now. Battling this 50 SMA. The high on Friday was 675. Then we had a high back here of 678. We closed at 617. So I'll watch this thing intraday. Maybe if it can clear back above 650, it might get interesting again. Some support areas are 550, $6. 650 is resistance, and then you have 675, and you have this high back here above $7. I guess when the news was first announced of chatter up to 715. So one I think we could keep on our watch. And then of course tomorrow I'll be watching my trade ideas, scanners, looking for news plays, things like that. I'm not sure which way the futures are going to open up tonight. Your guess is as good as mine. So we'll see how that all plays out. All right, so that's the watch list. Now, if you want to stick around for some of the stocks, folks asked me about, the bigger names like Facebook. Everything is going to be is rolling over here. Facebook could test the 200 SMA. It broke down below this 180 area on Facebook. I don't see why if the market stays weak, why this wouldn't retest the 200 SMA on Facebook. Let's see, Microsoft, the bigger names here. We're still in this channel here, but maybe coming down. We've bounced off 131 area before. So we haven't come all the way down there again. We're holding above the 100 SMA here. We haven't broke that in a long time. So keep an eye on Microsoft for dip buyers to show up around that area. Maybe, depending on how weak the market is. Nobody knows, right? We'll have to see how we're going to open up. Square, right, has been holding 60 back here, held it back here, 60, now threatening to break $60 again. If it breaks $60, could be an interesting short, or it could bounce off 60 bucks on Square. So I don't know. But you notice that $60 area has been an important area for SQ Square. Tesla, TSLA. Looks like, this one is rolling over. They had that news with Walmart with the solar panels, maybe lawsuits there. They're trying to work it out. But right now for Tesla, this low on Tesla is 211. So if they break that 211 spot, you could see further movement down, and TSLA remains below all the momentum moving averages here, even below the 50 moving average. TSLA, there was interest that there was rumors or headlines that maybe Volkswagen might be interested in getting involved with Tesla. Don't know how true that is, but anyway, it's not helping the stock too much. NVDA, another one requested. Nvidia, just like the semis, rolling over, came up over that 170. Then things got ugly Friday in the markets. Nvidia is pulling back to about the 10 SMA here, around that 160 area. Could be an area of support, and then bulls probably need to get this back over 170. Once again, it's all going to be dictated by the China news, the headlines, etc. AMD, another one that's followed by the people on YouTube, had requested it. So here we are at this support right now around this 2960, 2950 area. We bounced off it here. We gapped up through it here. So a big test for AMD here. If this breaks, right, we could head back down to maybe $27. Now, I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know, but I would say, bulls would want to get this back over 31 at least, and then maybe that 32 break. But right now, it looks like the bears are taking charge here, and we might get a test of 27 bucks. Of course, just a guess on that. We don't know for sure. NFLX. Keeps grinding lower, right? Netflix, really nothing much as far as levels or anything. Maybe we're going to come back down to this past support here of 232 or so. We're at 291, so we're quite a bit a ways from that. But we've been down there before, so we could head back down there. More competition coming in against Netflix with Disney and Roku, etc. Speaking of Roku, got a request for that one. Roku holding up strong here, battling that 140. Couple of wicks up here. Maybe a false breakout here. From a false breakout, you get a move back down. So we'll see kind of a double-ish kind of a top here at that 140 area. Definitely sellers up there at 140, but still holding above the momentum moving averages, the 5 and the 10. So we'll see on that one. Has support maybe around 127 or so on Roku. Not much to, not much of a discount in that one right now. Amazon, big name here. Amazon even taking it on chin. They get a lot of their goods from China, right? So, the Amazons, the Walmarts of the world, they all get a lot of stuff from China, Macy's. So retail is definitely, suspect right now. You don't want to, put too much into these Walmarts and Amazon. Even though Amazon is the leader out there, they're probably, looking to see where they can get their products from to sell. So we'll see. Twitter, not too bad, holding up, pulled back from that 43 area on Twitter, kind of hit it here. Now we're pulling back. 38 is a support area, so if the market gets ugly, maybe watch for bounces around the 50 SMA or that 38 area for TWTR. And then we'll keep going. Baba, right? China name. I don't see any reason to buy Baba right now, right? Why do you want to get into the whole thick of things right now? 180 is the resistance area. Hit it up here. Couldn't get through it. Now we're rolling back over, even taking out the 200 SMA. So a tough one to get involved with right now, Baba. So I'm sure if the market stays like this, I'm sure we'll get cheaper prices if the trade war continues the way it is. Snap. This one popped up above 18 bucks or got up to 18 bucks. Now it's been pulling back to the 50 SMA. It's been holding the 50 SMA here, but hitting it. I don't know if it's going to bounce. It's going to depend on the market here. If this 50 SMA breaks, we could come all the way back down to the 100 SMA. So we'll see. I don't really see any, maybe 14 is a support area for this name. So Snap has been strong, though, has been doing better. Google pulling back to the 50 SMA like all the other techs, holding above the 200 SMA, but an ugly candle on Friday, so not a real bargain yet in Google. Let's see, Boeing, doing better with the thought of their airline, the 737 coming back sooner in the next 4 to 6 weeks. So Boeing, actually, I talked about it on the previous video, was up 8% for the week, came up to this 370 area, and then they pulled it right back. So, Boeing, they're involved in China also. If the Chinese don't want to buy planes from Boeing, that could affect the stock. You see it's been holding around that 315 mark on Boeing, but we'll see. It's not cheap, that's for sure. By the PE ratio right now is not cheap on Boeing. It's not like you're getting a bargain here in BAMU. This one, I have a lot of lines on this chart. I got to clear some out. But 46 couldn't get through that. It's pulling back like the rest of the semis here. Let's see. Let's get rid of this line. Too many lines. Maybe, we're going to come back and check back to this support here at 41 and change on MU around the 50 SMA. If that breaks, then we could come back and test this $40 area. Obviously, bulls want to get it back at least above 45.50 or so, but I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon in MU if the news headlines stay the way they have. Shop was very strong. Shop But if you look at this thing on a weekly chart on Shopify, let's go ahead and look at the weekly chart. I mean, this thing is stretched, right? We came up, we hit this round number here on Shop. It's pulling back. The thing has come from basically 100 and change all the way up to $400 on Shop. So, you definitely do not chase this one. Remember NVIDIA? That one kept moving up, right? NVIDIA, and then finally it broke down. Well, Shop is looking like that. It's definitely getting stretched here on Shopify, so I would just stay away from it if you're not in it from cheaper prices. Nothing there for me. SBUX, Starbucks rolled over finally, but still, decent strength here in Starbucks. Maybe we'll get a retest of 90 and the 50 SMA on that one. Let's see, Pins was requested. Pins holding up pretty strong. Had problems here at 37 and now pulling back to the 10 SMA. It's going to depend on the market, right? You had this gap up earnings here around 31.50. Right, so there's your gap up on the earnings. So 31.50 is very important on this name. But right now it's trying to hold the 10 SMA. I mean, I personally wouldn't buy this up here. I would want further pullback, but everybody wants stocks cheaper, right? Always. And I think that's about it. That was pretty much all the requests I got. I'll take a quick look at Uber. Uber just continues to break down here on Uber, Lyft. Continuing to break down, breaking below $50. They had a low here of 47.17, so it's probably going to take that out. And Uber probably going to take out these recent lows also on UBER. And then lastly, we'll end it up with BYND, all right, Beyond Meat. So, dip buyers were showing up back here at 136, we'll call it. So we're probably going to head back down there for BYND. This one is back below all the momentum moving averages. It had a big run on the IPO all the way up to 240. Now we're pulling back. We're about in the midpoint, in the middle of the range, so not in a rush. You also had this gap. Maybe they need to fill this gap. The low was 121 or so. 119, 120. So maybe they're going to come back down and fill that gap on BYND. All right, I'm going to attach the Let's Get Ready for the Week Ahead video to the end of this video. I hope this video has helped you out. In the beginning, we did the stocks on watch for Monday and the next few days, and then I just did a bunch of chart requests for you. So everybody have a good rest of your weekend. Have a good day trading tomorrow. Don't push it, all right? It's Monday. Folks, this is going to be kind of a Friday is going to be a dead day as we go into the Labor Day weekend. Monday, the markets are closed next week. Any headline, any tweet can move this market around. So stay safe out there. Don't put too many swing trades on. Intraday, there's been some good action. So I'll just stick to intraday trading for now. Have a great night, everybody. Have a good day trading tomorrow. This is Mike from zozostockwatch.com.